My name is Ben Wright, and I'm the Energy Advocate with Environment Massachusetts. I've been here since I started the fellowship program in October of 2007. My first campaign was we were working to pass the Global Warming Solutions Act. The Global Warming Solutions Act was a cap on all global warming pollution from cars, trucks, power plants, industry. It was a tough fight. Our deadline was the end of the Massachusetts legislative session, which was July 31st, 2008. One of the toughest things was actually building the momentum among legislators. We have a lot of good environmentalists in the Massachusetts State House, but this wasn't a top-tier priority for them. So we decided to actually hold meetings in their districts with our members and other concerned environmentalists to talk to them about why global warming is a huge problem and why we needed to cap global warming pollution in Massachusetts. One of my favorite stories about this is it's about Representative Jay Kaufman from Lexington, Massachusetts. And the representative is a great environmentalist, always votes the right way, but he just said, you know, this isn't a top priority issue for me. I'm concerned about other things. So we decided, well, let's just bring in a bunch of his voters to a meeting in the Lexington Library and have a discussion. 2 days later, the representative called me on my cell phone and said, Ben, the Global Warming Solutions Act is now my top priority. I want to work with you to do everything to make sure that we can pass this as soon as possible. At the beginning of the last week of the legislative session, we had gone out into 30 legislative districts across Massachusetts, held meetings in libraries, VFW halls, Dunkin' Donuts, everywhere, and just still didn't have the momentum. So we decided we needed to make a final push and actually bring all of the energy that was across Massachusetts into the State House. So we held a press conference. There were reporters from the Boston Globe there, from the local NPR affiliate. We showed the 25,000 public comments that we'd collected on the issue, and you really felt a shift in momentum for the bill. On the last day of the legislative session, we got word early in the day that there was going to be action on the Global Warming Solutions Act. So it was going to come up for a vote in the House of Representatives, which was phenomenal news. But it didn't quite mean that we were there yet. So we still had to make sure, do we have the votes in the House of Representatives? And then secondly, we had to make sure, is there anybody who's going to try to filibuster it or pull some other parliamentary trick to make sure that the bill doesn't happen? Industry opposition had really kicked into high gear in those last 2 weeks, and we were prepared for anything. So we were up at the State House all day making sure that we still had all of our legislators lined up and that the vote was actually going to go our way, and then making sure that the bill actually got from the House of Representatives to the governor by midnight, which was the end of the session. The decision to actually pass the Global Warming Solutions Act was made by the Speaker of the House when he looked at all of the issues that were in front of him the last day of the legislative session, tried to figure out which one of these has the most public support, which one can we get the most public goodwill for. And because of the work of Environment Massachusetts, of our active lobbying, and of our Citizen Outreach Office, we were able to put the Global Warming Solutions Act at the top of his list of things to do on the last day of the legislative session. So being totally new as a fellow to politics, to Massachusetts, to environmental organizing, and being thrown into the Global Warming Solutions Act campaign was a stunning experience for me. I went from just being a normal college kid to all of a sudden I'm meeting with elected officials every day and trying to convince them to pass a bill that some of them just really didn't want to pass. Trying to build the public support to show them that it was in their best interest, getting media attention around the issue, and then actually doing the hard job of negotiating the particularities of the bill and how it's actually going to look once it's implemented. Without Environment Massachusetts, our advocacy and our citizen outreach work, the Global Warming Solutions Act would not have passed. And I'm very proud to say that I was a part of that.